Hi there, Elise Dewsbury from New Musicals Inc. with number 104 in my series of How to Get No Feedback from Elise. And this is step 4 in my mini series on pitching your musical to potential producers, is the idea of this. And what I want to talk about today is pitch deck or sizzle reel, that sort of thing, and website. So it can be really, really useful to have something short and snazzy that will catch someone's attention. That it could just be showcasing the music. It could be showcasing the musical and some of the visuals. It would certainly have to have some title cards, but it doesn't necessarily have to have any, if you haven't had a production or anything like that, you don't have to have visuals of the show itself, but some nice backgrounds and a nice logo and some samples of the music can be really useful in a pitch deck or a sizzle reel, whatever the terminology is that you're going to use for it. The key with any of these is keep them short. The whole idea, once again, is to hook someone, to make them want more. So resist the urge to give them too much. So if you're going to be giving them samples of your music, you want to give them samples of 3 to 5 songs that are not more than a minute to a minute and a half for each sample. That's about all anyone can tolerate. It's not to say that they don't want to hear more of your music, but the idea of the pitch deck or the sizzle reel is to get them interested enough to want to hear more. But you'll lose them if you try to give them too much information. You want to keep it short. If they know, for instance, that they can spend just 5 minutes of their life, 3 to 5 minutes, watching your pitch deck or your sizzle reel, they might actually do it. So for instance, if you can send them an email saying, here's who I am, here's the basic idea for my show. I would love it if you would just check out my sizzle reel. It's only 5 minutes long. They might actually do it, you know. But if you say, here's a whole reading of my show, it's 2 hours and I had great actors, they're like, no, I don't have 2 hours to give you. Um, Trust me. Again, and it's nothing against you in particular. So try not to take that personally. The fact is, these are very, very, very busy people. And most of the material that is sent to them is not worth their time. So they need to know very quickly whether your material rises to the level that it is worth their time. And if it's not coming to them under the recommendation of someone that they know and trust, if it's cold in some way, then they are not going to trust that it's something that will be worth their time. They can't, and there's nothing, 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 nothing that you can say that will make them trust that you are worth their time. So if you let them know, look, I have a little sizzle reel that'll give you some quick examples of my work. It's only 5 minutes. Check it out. They might do it. If you send them, the whole script or all the full demos or a 2 hour reading, the odds are, even if they're intrigued by your idea, that maybe they'll leave it in their inbox for a while thinking, oh, I got to get to that. Oh, I sort of wanted to look at that. But, life will intervene and the odds are they won't spend the time. Whereas if it just, oh, it's 5 minutes. Oh, I think I can spare 5 minutes. So trust me. Now, and a pitch deck, sometimes you can put some plot points. Once again, though, if you are putting up a logo card and then some plot points as the songs are playing along, I would so again encourage you, don't get heavy duty into plot. Make sure that it's really just about story, just those basics. Go back to step 1 in this little series that I'm doing, and make sure that you're just talking about the overall story and not getting into the mechanics of the plot, because in this short little pitch deck, that's not what people want. You want to keep it short and sweet. And maybe some details about what's the cast size, what's the time period, what's the style of music, so that they just get a quick sense. Is this something that fits into the parameters of the kind of thing I'm looking for, so that you can capture their attention to get them to ask for more. That's all it's for. It's not to get them to produce your show. It's to get them to ask for more. It's just a tease. That being said, too, I so strongly recommend, especially nowadays when it's relatively easy to do, get yourself a website. You can have a personal website and you can have individual pages on your website for each of your shows. If you only have one show, then you can just have one, website that's just for your show. Um, you can put a lot more information on there. I would still say that on the main page, you want to just be really clear about, here's who I am, here's why I'm the person to write this musical, here's my story, not my plot, but my story, and here's a sizzle reel or a pitch deck. All of that stuff should be upfront, sort of above the fold, as they say. And hopefully that will get their attention. Now, once you've got their attention, it's fine if there's lots more material on the website. There can be pictures from productions. There can be a full script if you're willing to put that on there, or a script sample. There can be demos of all of your songs. There can be reviews that you've gotten in the past, or that sort of thing. You can fill up the website with whatever you want, as long as the first thing somebody sees are just a handful of things to get them interested. But the plus about this too is if you send an email to someone saying, here's my basic idea, here's a pitch deck, let me know if you want more. Or if you want more, here's a place to go. So give them that resource right away so that they can go, oh, I got a second, I'll go dig around in their website. You've given them a place to go. So you don't have to load up that initial email with all of that information. You can send them to your website. It's not hard these days to go to WordPlus or WordPress, sorry, WordPress. What are some of the other ones? Weebly or something like that. There are various different. There's another one. There's several out there that make it very easy for you to create a very simple website. Get it done. You really need to have it. Yeah. So pitch deck / sizzle reel, and a website. To give people more information. These are the next steps in trying to give a producer the tools that they need to see whether or not they want to get involved with your musical. Okay, that's it for this one. Toodaloo.